Hello friends, my name is Olga. I am a mature medical student and unfortunately I should tell you some interesting news about war in my country, in Ukraine. Because this day it is 8th of May and tomorrow will be the 8th of May, the so-called Parade of Victory in Russia, and of course this is day important for most of USSR post-USSR countries that was a part of USSR, but in Russia it is like something national, connected with national idea, and here in Ukraine people even call it the rabies of victory. So they crazy about this victory. They think that this super achievement and they should proud of it, and nothing matters else that their country is great. So it is kind of very strange, how they react on this day. So before this day, everyone thought that there will be more attacks, more explosions, more missiles from the Russian side. And I want to tell you about what happened in Ukraine now, what is important we have today. Actually, I am reading that in Transnistria, their army in Transnistria, that military units, they now have the highest level, and they are prepared the red level of preparation. It means that they just waiting for a command to attack. Our experts, a lot of people told that Putin will not use Transnistrian army because it is too weak against Ukraine. They have no much heavy weapon. There are only 3,000 of people. So they not powerful, actually they not enough. Of course, if the Russian army would pass after Kherson region, Mykolaiv, and come to Odesa from the east, then and some part from the Zmyny Island from the sea, and that Transnistrian units from that Moldavian side, there will be like third part to surround Odessa. It will be like a help for that first two parts of Russian army from the sea and from the eastern part. But they didn't reach anything. Even today, three military boards, I don't know how it properly call it in English, but it's a small military ships or boards, and Raptor type, and they were destroyed with Russians before we destroyed frigate, and so Russians, they lost almost every few days some ship, so their navy become less powerful and have less possibilities in Black Sea, and Turkey closed that corridor that connects Black Sea from the ocean, from the other waters, So it is like closed now for military ships, so Putin cannot add some other ships, they cannot enter Black Sea, so they Black Sea Navy become weaker and weaker now, and so they think to capture Transnistria. Unfortunately, we have also an Odessa strike, and people there wounded, unfortunately. What also I wanted to tell you that a lot of experts say that Russia lost too much tanks, too much machinery, and actually they applied for a war in Ukraine the most modern tanks, the last and the best military machinery they had. So the Ukrainians destroyed more than 1,000 of tanks, around 200 of aircrafts, then more than 150 of helicopters, and more than 10 ships, and other like military, a lot of more than 2,000 of armed cars, and so Russia had a lot of losses in that technique with wheels, so they cannot they cannot create the parade on the Red Square with a lot of machinery, with a lot of tanks, because actually the tanks that are in Russia, they have 3 or 4 thousand of tanks totally, but more than 1,000 in Ukraine already destroyed, and it is the best, the most modern tanks. So that's that last. It was created in the times of USSR 40-50 years ago, and they conserved it, so they try to restore it, because it was this tanks was, for example, new in 40 years ago, but they didn't use them. They just conserved them for better times, for some needs, and now they need them, so they try to restore it, to make it work. And most of the tanks they try to restore, they, for example, have very old-fashioned engines. These engines use, for example, the fuel for aircrafts. It is very expensive now, because maybe 40-50 years ago it wasn't a problem. Now it is a problem, and they very to say difficult in exploitation. They could stop working for some reason. They need to take care about them, these engines of the tanks. So this is new tanks, but they very, very unmodern. And so experts said that as Russians, they do not have much machinery to show to the people as they usually do on the Red Square. The major attention will be paid to aircrafts. So they will show aircrafts, because they still have a lot of aircrafts, and there will be like attention, and the narrator will try to pay attention and try to make people pay attention to the sky, to their air forces, because the forces on the wheels are not that good. And also I'm reading in you that in Voronezh, it is a city near Ukraine. In the beginning of 20th century, it was Ukrainian actually city, but when USSR created, Russia thought that and take this territory, and Voronezh become a Russian city, but it is closer territory to Ukraine. And now I'm reading that in the Voronezh will be no any parade of victory, because they have lack of machinery, because as I told you, all machinery in the war of in the territory of Ukraine are already destroyed. And a lot of samples of such a machinery, Russians told that this is the most modern samples. They can be destroyed. They just so invisible. They're so fast. They're so undefeatable. But anyway, our military people, our soldiers, destroy them. Destroy all that modern super tanks, super machinery, and it's not a problem. And so Russians they lost a lot of a lot of machinery about because of that war. And before Putin, maybe you remember, he told before war, the day before war, that he want to make a denazification and demilitarization of Ukraine. And it's now like it's turned out to be that it is opposite, because the militarization is for Russia, because it lost a lot of machinery. Of course, Ukrainian army also lost a lot, but they do not tell us about the losses, and I think for Russia, for Ukrainian army, it's not that critical, because Russia stayed alone as a country. She wants to have and try to have the support from China, from Northern Korea, from some, for example, Georgia, from other countries around, but not all countries want to support them, want to show that officially the support to Russia. So actually for Russia it is very hard to get more tanks, more machinery, more missiles, because they some kind alone, maybe unofficially they think up how to get this parts, this military things, but officially it is very complicated, and even if it's they do it unofficially, it's not that help that for Ukraine, because for Ukraine a lot of Western countries and United States they started to deliver and to make documents for delivering a lot of heavy weapon and tanks and other machinery and even planes to make Russia leave the territory of Ukraine that they captured. And was also a lot of news that, and the experts suppose that Russia will try to make a parade of victory in Mariupol. They will try to make a parade of victory in Kherson, these captured cities on the south of Ukraine, and I don't know so far if they will do that. But anyway, I know that in Kherson and in Mariupol, Russians they do very bad things. They kept that people that stayed in Mariupol, didn't evacuate. They not a prisoners there, but actually yes, there are some. If there stayed a civilian man, they capture them and they keep them in some closed buildings. It's kind of like a prison or something, and they use them for some heavy and dangerous work. If they need, they put them in the car and deliver to some place. They have some heavy and dangerous work, and these people work of course without salary, just for food. And I have a message from the Mariupol, from Kherson, that there, as they have a lot of destruction, destroyed buildings, destroyed infrastructures, roads, killed a lot of corpses of the people, and children and men and women killed, stayed on the streets of Mariupol, and especially of Mariupol and Kherson. The Russians, they try to get rid of all this evidence of their crimes, so they use that people that stayed there as the workers. They have to clean the everything, take the corpse from some the cars, and I don't know, bury somewhere in huge how to say, the gathering of of the it's not a cemetery, but they just put in big hole in the ground for everyone, not just for each person. So they try to get rid of the corpse. They try to clean the streets and get rid of that evidence that they did with that city, with Mariupol, with Kherson. And people there, they have no any choice. They work for food, and this Russians that captured part, they just give them some very simple and cheap food, and these people, they have no choice, unfortunately. Instead of this, we have messages that from Kherson region, it's agricultural region, and there are a lot of different fruits and cereals, and even cereals for export. And Russians, they steal all this. They brought it to Crimea. They tried to even to that stolen cereals from the farmers of Kherson. They tried to sale in Egypt even, but Egypt refused to buy this. It is what I knew for today, and I don't know what will be tomorrow, but I know that even Lukashenko is the closest second dictator after Putin, refused to come to parade on Moscow. I don't know if it's true, it's not proved information, but I seems to be like Putin on this parade on the Red Square will be alone, and I don't know if some other leaders will be in a company with him. So that is my news for today. Also, I want to say huge thank you for watching, and I want to thank for all that countries that help Ukraine, that help by weapon, and to help by even United States even created Lend-Lease. Lend-Lease, it is they may deliver that machinery, that kind of weapon Ukraine will need without any problems, and actually this is kind of procedure that help USSR to win the Second World War, because actually Putin now he says that Russian army is great, that Russia will Russia destroyed the army of Hitler, that Russia is nation of winners, and it's all this glory, this victory is for Russia, because Russians are main, and Russia is the biggest country and the main country. USSR actually can say that Russia won this Second World War. But if United States will not that there was no any that Lend-Lease for USSR, for Europe, with delivery of different machinery, of different kinds of weapon. I don't know if Russian army or USSR, that army could win that Second World War, because if I remember from the history, in the 1931 Russian army had one gun for three people. That was a kind of level of weapon that USSR army had. And unfortunately, first years before Lend-Lease from United States, a lot of simple people died in that war, because they actually had no enough weapon, to defend from the Hitler. So that is my news for today. I once again I want to thank to all countries that help, all people that support Ukraine by any means, by meetings, but by everything they can. And also I want to say thank you to people who watching my channel, who listen my not that good English, but I'm trying to improving it. I hope you understand what I'm saying, and I hope you always get some interesting information from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Bye.